So, I know I said in the last video that we were going to be heading to Cataclysm raids, and that we were done, and I had done every Wrath dungeon. My bad. I had, look, sometimes I am just blind and just don't see something obvious. Because I'm sure as I was, like, looking at this screen right here, you guys were like... You know, as I was like, well, I've done everything here, and you guys were like... You know, as I imagine some of you were just kind of like pulling your hair out, hear me say that, knowing I had not done Trial of the Champion yet. Here's the thing, I had totally forgotten about this dungeon. I've only ever done this dungeon like maybe like 2 or 3 times ever. So I just kind of forgot in the moment that it existed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we are definitely going to be doing it now. So, sorry about that. My bad. You're actually going to get to see me do a bit of an actual, like, fight in this. Because you kind of have to in order to actually progress. I'll explain in a moment. So, obviously, if you probably know about, you know, this patch, the Trial of the Crusader patch. A patch that is very... well... divisive is probably the nice way I can put it. Hated is probably the more blunt way to put it. A lot of people really did not like this patch. This was following Ulduar, which everybody loved, and, you know, Ulduar is considered fantastic. And then a lot of people absolutely could not stand. Now, I can understand why, because this whole thing with the jousting and upping your rep with the Argent tournament and such... yeah, that's not very appealing, really, honestly. I can understand why a lot of people would absolutely just can't stand that. I have never come back and actually done this. And I want to because there are some interesting rewards you can get for actually, like, getting the various different seals and, of course, upping your rep with this faction. You know, like mounts and such. But I've just never come back and done it because... well, this was during a time where you basically had to grind lots and lots of dailies every day. Or, you know, just keep doing these dailies day after day after day. And, well, yeah, as you can imagine, that's not very fun or appealing. I've said this for a long time. If you're going to... the thing about grind is you can't just have grind in there just for the sake of grind. You have to make the grind actually, like, fun or enjoyable to do. Otherwise, you're just going to cause the players to tear their hair out or get bored or get so sick of it they never want to ever touch it again. Because then it's just not very fun or appealing for those of us who actually don't want to have to do these things. I mean, if you make it entertaining or fun to do, then yeah, we're not going to mind as much when it comes to... and it's not going to feel as much of a grind anymore. But if you're just wanting grind in there just for the sake of grind, because I know there are some people out there that do like and enjoy grind. I do. I have met some people that said they do like it. And that's fine. But I'm just saying, if you're going to have grind, make it fun. Make it enjoyable. You don't need to make grind aggravating or annoying or just either boring or unfun to do that people just are never going to want to do it. You know? It's one of the reasons why I've never come back and done this, because I've heard so many people say that the grind for this area was just excruciating and just boring and just, ugh. Like, maybe the first time you're doing it, it's like, oh, okay. But when you're doing it multiple times, like, can you just imagine having to do this, like, 10 times or so? This whole grind, or having to do these dailies and such, during a time where...
in time.
Thank you, Zalatath, for talking over me once again. I know you're eager to get to war within Zalatath. I know. We're gonna get there soon. We're only like a bit away. But anyways, yeah, I've never come back and done the dailies and such and done all that grind. I want to at some point, but maybe when it's a little bit easier to do. And not as much of a pain, you know? So anyways... that was part of this patch, along with a couple of other things. A dungeon and a raid. Now, I've already done the video about the raid, which basically concludes the the portion of this particular patch and such, where the whole idea here is that Tyrion is trying to get the best of the best of the best. Weed out the ones who are not fit for it and able to actually just bring them in. So that way he will have the absolute top best people for when we head there. He's not wanting to bring, those that will easily get taken down. And the Lich King will be able to just simply, oh, hey, thanks for bringing me new troops from my Scourge armies. He wants to bring as many that he can that can be able to actually push and survive the assault on Icecrown Citadel. That's the whole point of this. So, that's why Tyrion has set this up. Now, setting this up right in Icecrown, not too far away from the Citadel, probably not the best of ideas, but this is probably I want to say at this point that it was arrogance when it came to Tyrion, because Tyrion was going, well, this whole ordeal has been affecting Tyrion, and it was something that many of us speculated was going to come to a head when we got to the end of the Icecrown Citadel raid. But let's just say Tyrion is not probably thinking in the wisest or best of ways at this point in time. And doing so right here on the doorsteps of Icecrown Citadel is probably an example, because why would you put something like this close to Icecrown? Like, just on the other side of these mountains is the whole Icecrown area, which is not very wise or smart to do, but it's part of that whole, we want to send a message to Arthas that we will not be, all that stuff. So yeah. So anyways, what do you say we go ahead and get started on this? By the way, I've gone ahead and changed up my MOG on my Goblin DK here. I have tried to basically recreate the look. For the most part, I don't have everything. Obviously, the pants, boots, and belt are not really the ones that the character wears. I don't know if I actually have those. So, I was trying to recreate it as best I could. I'm also not necessarily using Armageddon because I'm using Shadowmourne, because of course I am. But also because putting Armageddon on a goblin looks kind of silly. I'm just saying. Putting a really long sword like Armageddon on a goblin, it's going to be in the ground, I'm just saying. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and stick with Shadowmourne for now. Anyways, what do you guys say we head on inside? Now, I apologize because I'm pretty sure the dialogue, when I talk to the guy, is going to just automatically skip itself. So I won't be able to actually read it for you. I'm sorry. But then again, there's a bunch of RP, so don't worry about that. So, welcome to the Trial of the Champion. Champion! With this tournament, we grow ever closer to our final confrontation with the Lich King. Fight with valor and honor. Every fighter here has gathered for the common good. Together we will stop Arthas! Death Knight Arthas, you mean, but whatever. So in here, as you can see, we just like in the raid, we have Tyrion, along with the Argent Crusade right over there. We have Thrall and Garrosh over there with the Horde. And over here we have Varian and Jaina, along with members of the Alliance. It's interesting that at this moment, everybody... Tyrion is yellow, but here's the funny part. Yes, Thrall and Garrosh are green with me, but so are Varian and Jaina. I find that very amusing. You'll also notice these around here. Now, here is Jaren Sunsworn. I want you to remember him, okay? If you talk to him, you'll notice he says, the first challenge requires you to be mounted on an Argent Battle Warg. You will find these mounts along the walls of this Coliseum. Please mount the Battle Warg and speak to me then we can proceed. Now, if you're Alliance, he'll say the Argent Warhorse, or, yeah, as opposed to the Battle Warg. But because you're Horde, he wants you to hop on the Battle Warg. So this is part of the jousting mechanic. So, yeah. Now, you must have a lance equipped in order to be able to hop on. So in order to do that, you go over here, and you get this, go to the lance rack, you click on it, and you equip a Argent Lance. Bam, there we go. I am ready for jousting, haha! I'm using the Warhorse as red. So we've got our Lance. So when you hop on, you get a few abilities. You get Thrust, a melee attack that inflicts damage. Shield Breaker, a range attack that inflicts damage and it removes one layer of Defend from the opponent, which is this. Reduces damage taken by 30%. Strikes by Shield Breaker or Charge remove one layer of Defend. Up to 3 layers of Defend may be stacked. And Charge. A charging attack that inflicts damage and removes one layer of Defend from the opponent. So, in case you guys are... So, here's the thing. You have to do this in order to progress through a portion of this first fight. Once you get past a certain portion, then you can hop off and do the fight normally. However, you have to early on go ahead and stick with this.
Victory lies ahead.
The Sun Reapers are proud to present their representatives in this trial by combat. Welcome, champions! Today, before the eyes of your leaders and peers, you'll prove yourselves worthy combatants. Fight well, Horde! Look Tarugar! Finally, a fight worth watching. I did not come here to watch animals tear at each other senselessly, Tyrion. They're worthy fighters. You'll see. You will first be facing 3 of the grand champions of the tournament. These fierce contenders have beaten out all others to reach the pinnacle of skill in the joust. Proud and strong, give a cheer for Marshal Jacob Valerius, the grand champion of Stormwind. So he comes in with 3 of his own champions. I'll explain that in a bit. Entering the arena is the Grand Champion of Dornassus, the skilled sentinel Jalen Evansong. So it'll randomly pick 3 of the available Alliance races as champions for you to face. When I was testing this, it picked the human, the gnome, and the Draenei. Coming out of the gate is Colossus, the towering Grand Champion of the Exodar. So it looks like this time it chose the humans, the Night Elves, and the Draenei. So they will line up over there on that side. So for the record, before I started recording this, I actually tested this out on another character, just to kind of get myself more familiar with how this works. So, you basically start off against the champions that are, representing those 3 elites over there. So you basically have to take these on. Now, doing this by yourself is actually not as bad as you might think, because as you can see, even though I had to take off my weapon, I'm still at max level with, the fact that I'm max level against skilled stuff. You also notice we're getting some rep for each of these we take down. We're getting rep with the Hand of Vengeance, the Warsong Offensive, the Sun Reavers, the Horde Expedition, and the Tonka. You guys remember them, right? I hope you do. Because I think Blizzard kind of forgot that they exist.
I need to get closer.
The achievement spam is still happening.
I'm out of range.
So once you take them out, you then take on the next 3 champions for whichever the next race was that was chosen.
It's too far away. I don't have a target.
I hope you guys enjoy my goblin and her dialect. But yeah, once you get your shield charges up, it's actually not that bad. Because some people were like, I think for a while, a little concerned being able to try and do this by themselves, solo it, but it's actually not that bad. But you have to do this portion mounted, because if you don't, if you hop off, they all just kind of despawn. And then you're not really able to actually progress in it, you know?
I'm out of range. It's too far.
So you're just gonna go ahead and also get your shield charges back up. If you start to get low on health, what you basically can do is just go over here and hop onto another battle warg, and it'll like give you full health.
I need a target.
So it's not a big deal, honestly. You're just gonna go through this, take these guys down, and then you'll face the 3 elites. So now, you see that? Okay, so they aggro to you. So now hop off. So then you basically just do that, and you're basically going to kind of reset this. Because you don't necessarily win at that moment. What you do is you basically make them kind of go over here like, alright, the fight on the mounts is over, and now we shall fight for real. So they all go over here. I guess I should just go ahead and read this. The Grand Champions. The Lich King is relentless. Actually, hold on. Before we do that. Clouds blanket the skies of Icecrown, and heroes gather beneath battle-worn banners in preparation for the coming storm. They say that even the darkest cloud has a silver lining. It is this hope that drives the men and women of the Argent Crusade. Hope that the light will see them through these trying times. Hope that good will triumph over evil. Hope that a hero, blessed by the light, will come forth to put an end to the Lich King's dark reign. The Lich King is relentless, and his undead armies pouring forth to overwhelm his foes, to prepare would-be champions against him. High Lord Tyrion Forging presents a test of courage, endurance, and teamwork. His hardened veterans will weed out those who lack the stomach to face the ravening throngs of undead. So, he just has his pennant, Champion of Stormwind, Champion of Darnassus, Champion of the Exodar. That's basically it for now. So let me see if I can just kind of go ahead and... So, of course, you're going to be fighting these 3. Obviously, in a 5-man, it would be you'd be doing this a little differently. Since, of course, they're going to be able to have each of their own different kind of abilities here. So it'll even, like, give you an idea for what each one does. Hilarious, obviously... Whoa! Toss me to the wall. He's got warrior stuff like Intercept, Blade Storm, Mortal Strike, Rolling Throw. The Gnome would have Fireball, so he's a mage. Our Exodar friend here is a Shaman, so he's got Healing Wave, Chain Lightning, Earth Shield, Hex. Our Night Elf friend over here, she has Shoot, Multi-Shot, Lightning Arrows, and Disengage, so she's a Hunter. And if we had a Dwarf, she would be a Rogue with Deadly Poison, Fan of Knives, Poison Bottle, and Eviscerate. And that's just on the Alliance side. Obviously, this would be a little different. It was also, if I was on an Alliance character, we'd be facing Horde champions. Huh. I guess I finally got that achievement. So, I want you to also notice something. After we defeated them, they just walked away like, alright, well fought. We're going to go ahead and leave now. I want you to remember that for what's coming up next, okay? Ooh, I got the Edge of Ruin Axe. Nice. Very nice. Hadn't gotten that yet.
Anaria Shola.
So next, we have one of 2 possible champions. So after the first fight, Tyrion said, "Well fought, your next challenge comes from the Crusade's own ranks. You'll be tested against their considerable prowess."
To the challenge!
Entering the arena, a paladin who is no stranger to the battlefield or tournament ground, the Grand Champion of the Argent Crusade, Edric the Pure! So, Edric the Pure. Before heroes can challenge the forces of darkness, they must defeat agents of the light. You may begin! Tyrion Forging has selected a formidable paladin from the Argent Crusade to test combatants' mettle. Edric will go to great lengths to call those without the moral conviction to enter Icecrown Citadel. So he's going to be fighting us basically as a paladin. The more interesting fight, though, is Argent Confessor Paletress, and I really wanted it to pick her, and I wanted to show her off. Not like that. But she's voiced by Lord Bailey, for one thing, but she's also got a very interesting mechanic. She's got priest abilities, Holy Fire, Holy Smite, Renew, but she's also got Summon Memory. And this is very interesting. 15 health remaining, she summons a creature from your past battles. And it can usually be something like, I think, Senegosa? But, like, she'll summon, like, various different, like, images of some kind of fight we had from the past. And it's something I really want to show off. Now, here's something I want you guys to notice.
I need to target something first.
Now, these guys fall over and they are dead. Now, people have actually argued for years whether or not they actually are dead, or if this is just like a gameplay thing. Because the question then becomes, why would Tyrion allow us to actually kill these members of the Argent Crusade? Now, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that we actually are, because in the raid, it's pretty clear we actually are killing them, to which I say, what in the world, Tyrion? Like, seriously, dude. I'll go ahead and put my weapon back on.
Prepare yourselves!
I'll go ahead and let's see if we can show him off a bit. Again, I think he's the least interesting of the two fights. I'll go ahead and also read Paletress's thing here. Before heroes can challenge the forces of oh, never mind. It's basically the same thing, it looks like. No, never mind. Paletress will do everything in her power to ensure that only those with strong faith will confront the scourge.
Righteous!
Ha! Bam!
I yield! I submit!
I didn't know that was an achievement. That's funny. Alright, so that is it. We have won the challenge by Tyrion Forging.
A new Belore.
Now wait, who is that?
You spoiled my grand entrance, rat.
So he kills him.
You honestly think an agent of the Lich King would be bested on the field of your pathetic little tournament?
Like, he's actually dead, and I'm gonna prove it in just a second.
I've come to finish my task. This farce ends here.
He raises him as a ghoul. Yeah. So this is the Black Knight. The Lich King is cunning and will use treachery to thwart his enemies. To that end, he has dispatched the Black Knight to eliminate promising candidates from High Lord Tyrion Forging's army. The undead's mere presence defiles the Crusaders' Colosseum, and those who prevail against him will prove their worthiness. So here's a really fun fight, because it's a multi-phase fight. You know the guys at Blizzard wanted this to be a nice little fun inside joke about the Black Knight from Monty Python. So he's got, lots of Death Knight abilities. Death's Respite, Icy Touch, Frost Fever, Plague Strike, Blood Plague, Obliterate. He raises, of course, the Herald here. We've defeated the Black Knight, but wait!
My rotting flesh was just getting in the way.
So he gets back up as a skeleton. Because flesh is... There's no need for flesh. 'Tis but a scratch. So he then calls Army of the Dead. So yeah, phase 2, he's an undead skeleton. And he'll have corpse explosion, or ghoul explode, if you will. Yeah. So I'm sure any of you who have dealt with corpse explosion in Diablo knows how annoying that is. So then we defeat him once again. And this is what happens.
I have no need for bones to best you.
So he gets back up once again, this time as a ghost. It was a flesh wound. And then he'll have Death's Bite and Marked for Death. Increase the damage, their magic damage by taken by 200% for 10 seconds. Yeah! So he's just doing Death's Bite, just constantly doing all this magic damage. Yeah! I just find the thematic element of this fight really cool. That you basically have to keep trying to kill this guy over and over because he just won't stay down. Like the Black Knight from Monty Python. By the way, you'll also notice we're getting this currency called Champion's Seal. It's also transferable now between warbands, so maybe doing this is not as bad anymore because you can transfer that currency just, to certain characters if you want them to focus on, like, the rep and getting the rewards here. So that's really nice. My congratulations, champions! Through trials, both planned and unexpected, you have triumphed. Go now and rest. Champion from the blue team. I should have done that to start off with. When we showed up, and the guy goes, "Good people of the Argent Tournament, welcome to the arena." Because you know that, I mean, come on. You guys have played Oblivion, right? Go now and rest, champion from the blue team. I am honored to stand in the presence of such a fierce warrior. You have brought honor to yourself and to your people. Alright. So, now we are actually done with Wrath Dungeons. Because again, as I said, I've already done a couple of different videos on the final 3 dungeons of this expansion, which were, of course, the Forge of Souls, the Pit of Saren, and the Halls of Reflection. If you're watching the Soloing Dungeons playlist, I will just simply link that video after this one before we start doing the Cataclysm ones. So yeah, now we're actually done with the Wrath Dungeons, and we will be heading into the Cataclysm. Stay tuned.